Good morning. 7 o'clock on Wednesday, the 28th of November. And this is the second edition of the Rant. Let me talk briefly. Last time we talked about leverage. Let me talk briefly about the Republican position on the sequester, on the fiscal cliff, what Steve Kornacki calls the slope, what other people call the curve or the curb, like you're tripping over the curb. Here's what we're dealing with. At the end of the year, taxes are going to go up pretty seriously on everyone. About $4,000 for the middle class, much bigger than that for the upper class. The top 2% of earners are going to go back to the Clinton rates, 39%. This is already baked into the system. This is built into the debt ceiling negotiations previously. I guess that's last August when the Republicans went off the tracks and went completely insane and decided that they were not going to pay the credit card of the United States. Full faith and credit of the United States was no longer something they believed in or felt was something that had any value. We'll do an entire rant on the insanity of the debt ceiling stuff. Let me just say that Grover Norquist, who has had a very, very, very bad week, Republicans jumping ship, he's slouching towards irrelevancy. Grover Norquist has now come out and said that the debt ceiling is part of what we're going to do to break Obamacare, break some of the other things, that they're going to threaten to not raise the debt ceiling again. Now, I have a phrase that I've been using since the beginning of the fiscal cliff conversation. It's called cliff diving. Not only do I believe we should let the tax rates expire for everyone, not only do I believe we should allow the sequester to happen, I believe that our stated positions in dealing with the Republican Party are much too reasonable. And I am, again, from the rational school of politics, I believe that you have to act in your own best interest. You have to do what the leverage allows you to do, and that is in part what is going on with the president over the last 4 years. But let me discuss, as I said before, that we have a massive leverage advantage, and that leverage advantage is not short term, it's long term. I don't see it changing this entire term. So the Republicans want to take the hostage again, as they say. They want to threaten to not raise the debt ceiling, not pay for the spending that we've already done for the last 3 or 4 months. Okay, fine. Take the hostage. We're not negotiating on the debt ceiling again. Either raise the debt ceiling or don't, House Republicans. But here's what I'm going to tell you. If you do not raise the debt ceiling, the Dow will drop 6,000 points. I'm not making that up. I'm not guessing. We'll fall completely back into the recession. It will be, a tsunami-like catastrophe for which it will take us a decade to recover. But during that decade, there will be no Republican Party. There will be no Republicans in the House. There will be no Republicans in the Senate. There will be no Republican Party. It is the end of them. And because it is the end of them, if they want to do it, do it. If they feel the need to commit Harry-Carry, if they, want to commit this ritual suicide over a mythic idea of debt and deficit that is ludicrous, that makes no sense, that has no functional basis in reality, if that's what they want to do, God bless. I'll see you on the other side. Here's what we have come to, and I really think that people have to understand this. If the Republican Party refuses to behave like a grown-up, like an adult, like anything other than a petulant, spoiled, whining, mewling brat, then let them behave that way. If they want to be that, if that's who they want to be, if that's the identity of the Republicans, if they have become cake eaters, unserious people, people unwilling to participate in the political process. If they have just become bomb throwers, fuck them. That's it. We're done. This is what it's come to. And I believe in leverage. I preach the gospel of leverage. You know, it is something that I value deeply, and I think that there are some adults in the Republican Party who are horrified by the way the Republicans have been acting, but they can't get a foothold. They can't take the party back, because at the core of it, at the absolute core of it, Mitch McConnell is telling people this works. Grover Norquist is telling people this works. The Tea Party is telling people we do this, and it works. And until we disabuse them of that notion, until we educate them clearly on how it does not work, on the costs of it, until the electorate punishes them across the board for what happened, and, you know, they have this narrative that they should have won, that they almost won, that they did win. All that delusion plays into this moment. They think Mitt Romney was a flawed candidate because of the 47% tape, or that Chris Christie ruined his chances to win, or that President Obama gave people gifts. Still waiting for my gift bag, by the way. They believe this stuff, and the danger of the delusion, the danger of so fundamentally misunderstanding what happened in this election, the danger of being unwilling to change, incapable of change because you don't understand what you did or what happened to you. Those things are extraordinarily powerful, and again, lead to a misunderstanding. So let me be clear. Taxes are going up. It is unfortunate. It is going to be painful, especially for the middle class. Blame the Republicans. This is their fault. This is the stuff they did. They wanted this craziness to happen. They thought the debt and the deficit were more important than your jobs, than your kids' schooling, than your kids' ability to go to college, than anything else. Debt and debt. Most important thing in the world. Most important thing of all time. Rich people whining and crying about debt. Okay? Elections have consequences, folks. You voted for Republicans. I'm talking to the red districts. I'm talking to Alabama. I'm talking to Mississippi. I'm talking to Florida. I'm also talking to Pennsylvania and Ohio and Wisconsin. You elected Republicans. Live with them. Live with their craziness. Live with their bad decisions. In the history of America, when have the Republicans cut the debt or the deficit? One time. Ronald Reagan invented deficit spending. Invented it. We fought World War I and World War II with no deficit. How did we do that? Well, the upper tax rate was 90%. 90. Not 29, not 30, not 31, 90. When Richard Nixon was president, the upper tax rate was 55%. And the Republican Party has completely lost their way. Ronald Reagan said, what I want to do is I want to cut taxes to 26% for the upper rate. Now they want to get rid of the estate tax. They pushed Glass-Steagall out the door. The last time Glass-Steagall was out the door, we had a Great Depression. This time, within 10 years, we had a Great Recession. That without Barack Obama being a super genius and having a legislative advantage, the likes of which the world has never seen, we would have been in another Great Depression. Do you think John McCain would have acted in a fiscally responsible way and gotten us out of the Great Recession? No. Do you think he would have had any idea what to do other than cut taxes? No. Cutting taxes is not an economic policy. Cutting taxes isn't anything except for a transfer of wealth from the middle class to the upper class, who, frankly, don't need any more wealth. When you have everything and you want a little bit more, there's a problem. That problem's not with the middle class. That problem's not with the working poor. That problem is not with, poor people. It's with rich people. It's with the greedy bastards of the world. Look, I'm ranting. I mean, this is what this is. This is a rant. This is me pouring out what's in my head in a different medium, than, the written word, which is more formal and more structured and less free form. Let me close by saying this, and I'm giving everybody a break because this is 11 minutes and that's way too long. So let me close by saying this. The GOP thinks that 39%, the tax rate that we're going to end up at, is our uppermost point, and they want to negotiate us down from the 39%. They fundamentally misunderstand what's going on. 39% isn't our uppermost tax rate. 90 is our uppermost tax rate, and we're willing to be negotiated down to 39. But I'm tired of putting discretionary spending, on the table. Discretionary spending is at the lowest level it's been in 30 years. And they want more discretionary spending cuts. No, there is no more to cut. We're raising taxes on rich people who can afford to pay more taxes. We're going to stop the capital gains madness. We're going to go back to the estate tax being in the 50s instead of being no estate tax. We're going to do basic, functional, fundamental things like you get paid, you can't defer that compensation for 10 years, trying to get a Republican in the White House to lower the tax rate so you never have to pay any taxes on it.